What's going on, everybody? This is Super Robot, and today we are going to talk about Studio Series 86 Devastator. We're going to talk about the inconsistencies and fallacies of a lot of us YouTubers and collectors who over the years have got it in their head that Combiner Wars was better than everything that they have ever made. And a lot of it has to do with personal reasons. And mainly, I don't really understand why you would ever think that a Titan-sized Devastator is the correct size, because in reality, there should never have been a Titan-sized Omega Supreme nor Devastator, because those are incorrect sizes, okay? Because we know Omega Supreme is not a Titan. He's just a small little base with a rocket, so he wouldn't be that big anyway. And if you're going to compare the actual Titans, like, for example, Fortress Maximus and Metroplex and all the others, the combiners are tiny compared to them. And Omega Supreme ain't even close to that size. So that's the first fallacy that we're going to correct for everybody today. All of the combiners should be the same size. And if you don't like it, just keep watching the cartoon. And of course, we're going to show the picture of the ugly Minosaur that nobody likes, because everybody thinks that Combiner Wars Minosaur was the best. Oh my goodness, he was the best, because when you put the upgrade parts on him, he turns into this. Oh yeah, that's right. He still couldn't really move and articulate well, but hey, that's all right. Anyway, this is the style of the combiners that they should be. This is the size that they should be. And then all the people complaining, well, I don't like the fact that they're using parts forming. It's the cheap way. But third party been doing it since 2012. Okay. But, you know, we forget that G1 Devastator was probably the worst combiner of all the combiners in G1, because without the help me parts, you could not combine Devastator. That's right. If you did not have these parts to connect everybody together, they could not combine. So let's say you lose the wing part that goes with Long Haul, you can't form Devastator. If you lose the headpiece that comes with Hook, you can't form Devastator. If you lose the drill part, the fist, or any other parts, you're going to be severely lacking. So therefore, you couldn't just take these robots out the pack and form them together. And that's the thing to remember with the H-style combiners. I call them H-style because we're talking about Superion, Defensor, Minosaur, Computron. All of them could combine without the extra little pieces like the chest plate and the head and the foot parts and the fist, because they all connected, to each other. But Devastator was the only combiner that needed help me parts, because without them, this thing would have not, they couldn't even combine. So right there, we need to stop with the whole, I don't like, because they did it in G1. Third party did it, but Hasbro can't do it. And I don't understand that. And then you got YouTubers out here, well, you're Hasbro apologists. No, I'm a realist. There's a difference. All right? There's a fucking difference. Like, for example, they didn't even have correct articulation for the 6 robots here. This is the Combiner Wars version now. The same Combiner Wars were there. I like Combiner Wars. This is the best. No, it wasn't even the best. It was inferior. This is an inferior version. It didn't come with all the weapons. It only came with the weapons that you used to form the guns and whatnot, but you didn't get the individual robot guns, nor did you get even the articulation, because again, these were built inferior. Inferior, yes. They're inferiorly built. Now head over to the the Unite Warriors version. Yes, they did add articulation, literally built in articulation. Scrapper got elbow articulation, Bone Crusher and Scavenger got a little more leg articulation. Mixmaster got arm articulation. The same thing with Hook, as well as Long Haul. They all got, new articulation. At least they got elbow articulation. We could say that much. But I mean, even then, you still got the 6 guns. So there are 6 actual weapons. These were the same. They're individual weapons that they got in G1. You got those. You didn't get that with the Combiner Wars version. And yeah, you get this glorious, beautiful package where you can actually change the way the head looks as well. You can't do that with any of the other versions of this mold. But the party in the back is always what gets me. And I used to own Unite Warriors Devastator, and I still wouldn't mind having it. But the individual robots were too big. They were Voyager size, which they should not have been. They're supposed to be shorter than Megatron and Optimus Prime, but they weren't. So they were already out of scale. Get out of your feelings. But we're going to look at the individual pictures. Now, starting at the top left, there's Combiner Wars. Again, like I told you, no paint on the rims. He did have somewhat of one of the episodes of a G1 paint job, but, again, didn't have the built articulation. Over to the SDCC version, over to the top right, he's basically just that kind of like shiny purple and like a weird green with more markings than the Combiner Wars version, but it's the same as the Combiner Wars version. Nothing's new. Now, with the Unite Warriors version, you actually got built-in constructed elbows. You got the individual weapons. You also got painted rims. Now, you did get a darker motif on the face and the paint job, which is more of their first appearance in the Transformers mythos. So basically, I have to believe they borrowed from that. Now, of course, the Studio Series version gives you all the amenities. I think he has waist swivel, but he does come with the bigger gun and the smaller guns as well, and the modern articulation. It is going to be the same thing for Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher, of course, Combiner Wars. The legs, I think at the bottom, didn't articulate as well. I don't know. It's like, I think at the thigh or the leg or something. I know for a fact it wasn't the same. And then when you get to the SDCC version, it's the same. It's just painted differently, with different markings. Then, of course, Unite Warriors, they do give you the individual gun. They do actually have less paint in certain places, but it's supposed to be more animation accurate, which follows their first appearance. There's some more markings. There's purple within the tread line. And then, of course, when we get to Studio Series, he has no waist swivel either, which is crazy. But the sculpt is more G1. He still has, of course, the better leg articulation and things like that. Of course, once we see leaks of the figures individually, we'll get to see more of that. Now on to the combined modes. And we're going to talk about Combiner Wars, where a lot of what Combiner Wars had was the misshapen scope. And talking about the arms rotate past the treads. So the treads don't move, only just the portion of the vehicles move with the arms on it. And I always thought that looked weird. The way that they combine Mixmaster with the weird backwards version of a vehicle is wrong. Scrapper is about the only one that looks good. At least Long Haul does hold the robots up well. But Long Haul is like this fat, gaudy robot because he's basically the brunt of the figure. Whereas the Studio Series is going to be a lot cleaner due, again, to the frame. And of course, you get the individual paint and everything is correct. Even the head sculpt. Now, we're not even going to talk about the San Diego Comic-Con version because that is basically just the Combiner Wars version with an ugly shade of purple. It has this really big, shiny, gaudy purple, and the green is a slightly bit different. He has more paint apps, but it just looks so... I can't spend that extra money for that paint. And then on to Unite Warriors. Now, this, if you're going to, again, I said this before, if you're going to go back in the past and get a Devastator, don't go for the cheap, expensive option. Because, yes, Combiner Wars Devastator is probably going to be expensive. But if you're going to spend the money to go back that far, get the best version of it, the Unite Warriors version. Again, you get two versions of the head, and you're not swapping them off. You literally lift up the head and flip out the eyes, and he has the shades look, or if you want to get the little small eye look, you can. They did try their best to fix Mixmaster's vehicle mode, but he still looks, it still is not right. But I do like the paint apps. I do like the painted rims. I like the individual guns. It does hold together a little bit more nicely than I heard from Combiner Wars. But yeah, he still suffers from the, that kind of like stability issue, I guess. Whereas, again, Combiner Wars Studio Series is not going to do that. Studio Series is going to give us that clean look. And I think that's what a lot of people are upset with. They want the joint Katai and, this company did it, that company did it. I don't like when this company did it. Well, Hasbro's not that company. And it's not a Hasbro apologist. Again, this is a realist. There's not a lot of people that care less. They could care less about third party. Okay? They didn't come into this to buy David or Harold or whatever other name that they can't name Optimus Prime. Because if you go to somebody and show them a Harold or a David, I'm like, that look like Optimus Prime. Well, yeah, you see, I got to call him David because blah, 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 blah. And they're going to be like, well, that's not a Transformer. No matter how much you slice it, y'all know it, and they know it. But this ain't about third party, it's about the first party. And basically, I think they did a decent job with this Devastator. It's in scale as it should be. The individual bots, we'll see more of them maybe down the line. I guess, we'll see how they all, look together all, going forward. But I'm in for this. I think this is going to be a good Devastator. I think it's going to help a lot of people not have to go back and spend tons more money for inferior product, even with Unite Warriors. I think this is the best buy. We're in the modern era. What else can you say? You either like it or you don't. But at least if you don't like it, just say, I just don't like it. We don't need to care about because you like this version, that version. Just say you don't like it because I like it and I'm going to get it and I'm going to laugh and I'm going to do my videos and I'm going to watch a lot of salty YouTubers get upset because they can't get views. But it is what it is. I hope nobody just jumps up and try to bite this video. But anyway, I'm done. I think Studio Series 86 Devastator is going to be the best Devastator, hands down. I've looked at the pictures, the sizing, the explanation of why, he was, why is really not, neither one of them, Omega Supreme nor Devastator, their sizes they're supposed to be, well, at least before. And a lot of other things we discussed, what you're going to get, the weapons, articulation, you're going to get everything that's supposed to come at Devastator. And I think it's a worthy buy. The way that they're going to be released is also a good thing. So, if you don't like it, I understand. But given BS reasons, it's just not enough. Okay? That's all I got to say. But this is Super Robot Ahead, bringing more news reviews to them. We'll see you soon. This video not went too long. Bye-bye.